And welcome back to today's Retirees with Certified Financial Planner Wayne Maslyk of Great Lakes Benefits and Wealth Management. We are in Wayne's office today, taking a little different look and coming out of the studio for a little bit. Probably nice for you. You don't have to drive over to the studio.
Yeah, I don't mind at all.
It works out well.
It'll have to be the way it is from now on.
And I get out of the house or out of the office a little bit.
We don't have the green background though, right?
Right, we don't have the green screen.
We can put whatever we want. You know, like some of these guys with the big morning shows in there, they have like the city behind them, and they're sitting in their basement.
Exactly.
Right.
They're doing all these neat things. So we thought we would take it on the road today. Well, Wayne, we've got an election coming up this fall.
Yeah, so not only do we have a virus to deal with and a potential resurgence of it, but we have an election.
And the election generally affects investments and stock markets and all of that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah, short-term, emotional, and it'll be interesting.
Yes.
Especially with everything going on, how polarizing Trump is, and how everyone's worried that Biden has his mind, and is it going to be Biden, and if he does win, and so there's a lot going on. So, no matter what side you're on, and now you couple the virus with that, and a potential even worse outbreak in the winter. So you got to put things in place now to weather whatever storm happens.
Sure. So if you're sitting at home and you've got a portfolio, you've been thinking about a plan, where did you go in the summer of 2020 getting ready for the unknown of November, December, January, when all of this cranks back up?
A great question. So back to basics. And, that was one of my talking points today. That's exactly what that's referring to. You got to revisit the original intent and objective of the current plan you're working. If you're working a financial plan, a lot of people out there, they have no financial plan at all. They're just flying by the seat of their pants.
Sure.
They put his money in the market. They go to a broker. Here's $500,000. Do whatever with it. There's no, method to the madness of the plan. It's just a broker investing money, and to me, that's just not a way to approach it. We got to start with how much we're going to keep at the bank. We got to start with how much we're going to keep at home, cash-wise, in case we can't go to the bank. Right?
Sure.
Just like recently.
Right.
What if they wouldn't allowed you to get cash machines? Go get cash because you didn't want to touch the money because you'd get it. It could get that bad again. Where are you going to get cash from? Right. So, and then with your investment monies, how risky do you want to be? How much risk? How much of your money do you want to take risk with? How much do you want to keep safe? With the risk money, how risky do you want to be?
Sure.
Right? Conservative, aggressive, middle of the road. Well, that's just the money portion. And then you got your estate plan, your power of attorneys. People got sick during this virus. What if their power of attorneys weren't in place, where Mr.'s in the hospital fighting the virus and Mrs. has to sell an asset or sell a vehicle or buy a vehicle or do financial transactions, and she didn't have power of attorney. Nightmare. Now you go to court, got to go to court to get it before night. Now the courts are closed.
Right, the courts are closed.
So, all this stuff, all the basics, people should revisit this summer and just make sure all their ducks in a row. So if we do have another outbreak or pandemic to deal with, they could take it, more easily. Stock up on toilet paper, on water, on food.
Sure.
Don't forget about what happened.
Right.
Remember what we went through, and then just plan for it in case it happens again.
And that's typically the American way. We weather the storm, and then we go right back to where we were.
Yeah, we forget about it. Even the stock market crashes, in 08 and the early 2000s and 87, it just, people forget they lost, big double-digit dollars, and then they keep taking the same amount of risk thinking it's not going to happen again.
Sure.
Well, it does. So, and a good financial planner will remind people of that and say, this will happen again. We don't know when, but it's going to. How much can you afford to lose? And then never take more risk than that.
Sure. And when you say get back to basic, I mean, look over all of these plans. You've told the story, even beneficiaries, all of these kinds of things, to life insurance, all of this. You need to look at all of this periodically and make sure it's, number one, is proper, and number two, it's going to go to who you think it's going to go to.
Yeah, I mean, not only do you have to look at it, some people have never sat down and went over it thoroughly with a professional.
Okay.
Right? Those that have, yeah, you want to, every few years just make sure, things are in order and all the ducks are in a row like you set up a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But those that haven't been through the process, they're just been doing what they've always done, nothing really organized or professional. They need to get in with a certified financial planner and at least do it once. Have a professional look at things and get things in order. And then you have peace of mind knowing that things are the way they should be.
Absolutely. Well, it's excellent advice. And friends, this is what, Wayne does. This is what his staff and Wayne, they put this together so that you don't have to go through these unknowns with a state of fear and
uncertainty
and the night sweats, wondering what's going to happen.
Or worse, they mess up. They actually mess up. They take too much risk with their money. They lose too much money, and now their retirement plan is messed up, and they have to change their standard of living. That's the worst thing.
Sure.
And that's what I strive for with my clients, so that never happens.
Right. And making sure that plan works for that family.
No matter what.
Right.
Virus or no virus.
So friends, this is why it's important for you to sit down, make that phone call, 866-626-3990, 866-626-3990. Take the time, make that phone call, set up an appointment, come in, sit down with Wayne, probably in this office or one similar to it, and you can put together a plan, bring your paperwork, he'll guide you through the whole process. It's very painless. Let me back up. When I say it's very painless, you have to think a little bit. And that's what takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, the thinking part is not so painful. Making decisions, yes. The painful part is when I ask them to show me where all their money went the year before.
Sure.
In all categories of spending, groceries, eating out, vacations. That's the painful part.
Right.
And a lot of times people don't come back because I need those numbers.
Right.
So if they're not willing to do them, then I can't
together.
I can't help them. So
Right.
that's kind of the homework of one of the meetings.
Absolutely. We'll be back right after this.